Hi, I'm Kyle Jones, and in this video, we'll walk through how to use Amazon SageMaker Canvas to do time series predictions. Time series is something that is not often talked about in statistics class or even machine learning, but it's extremely important for business applications in the real world. I'll show two examples today of how we can use time series to make predictions. One is predicting the amount of load on the energy system using data from ERCOT on an hourly basis, and the other is predicting the price of commodities for crude oil and natural gas. So let's get started. I'm in Amazon SageMaker Canvas, and I can go to create a new model. I'll call this one hourly forecast. I have data on the consumptions from ERCOT, which is the ISO in Texas, every hour for all of 2021 and 2022 up until August. So it's a pretty nice sized data set. I'll select that one. It's going to come up and give me a reflection of what's in the data. So I can see I've got the variable name value. I have two different versions of the time. The hour ending is the way that ERCOT reports things, and then the date is actually a change of that version. So it actually appears 1 hour before. Just a change in the way that gets reported in order to make the time series algorithms work a little bit better. So we'll use my version. The target is going to be value. This is the amount of load that is being demanded on different parts of ERCOT. We'll configure the time series. So my variable is the different regions within ERCOT, and my time is date. I'm going to predict this out for the next 72 hours. And then we can start the build. So it's going to go through and try a bunch of different approaches for time series. It'll do all of those on its own. And when it finishes, it takes a couple of hours to do this, we'll get a result. While it's doing that, let's start a new one. We'll call this one commodity forecast. For this problem, we'll be looking at using commodity data for trading. So this is futures for two different commodities, natural gas futures and crude oil futures. So again, I'll set my target as the price, configure the time series, to use commodity date, and this one is done by days, and we'll just project this one out 5 days in the future. Again, you can use the standard build. If you look, the standard build takes between 2 and 4 hours. So it will run all these models and then come back. I've actually built this already. So I have these other models that are already built. So let's take a look first at ERCOT. So the model that was predicted using that same data set is accurate 95% of the time, which is a really high accuracy rate for a time series. You go down to predict. I can look specifically at the different regions of ERCOT and get a nice time series graph. So we'll let that pull up. I've actually done it here. I can see the hour ending for different variables, my P10, P50, and P90. So different forecast ranges. I can also create new versions of this using different things included as we want. So I'm going to go to single item. Let's take a look first at ERCOT. This is the combined ERCOT forecast. I actually had a different time frame on this one that I ran. So this is running up until this is all of 2018 and then the beginning of 2019. So if we look at, say, this time right here, the actual demand on ERCOT was 41,000. So this accurately captures that. You can switch around and look at different parts. So if we're looking at the coast, we get a similar graph, all rendered out as needed. We can look at the west as well. Here we go. The little dip is a result of the switchover between 2018 and 2019 in the data set. But there we go. That's starting to show how this works with time series. I've got my forecast in the middle and then upper and lower bounds. I can download this as an image or the values as a CSV. The same holds true for my commodity data. So for this one, let's take a look at natural gas. And what we can see is the price of natural gas. These bottom parts are actually Saturday and Sunday when natural gas is not traded. So it has picked up this pattern that you have 2 days of no trading and then a plateau. And it's predicting out here. And these numbers are actually very close to what we're actually seeing in the market now. And we'll switch over to crude oil and we can see the same. All right. So time series is something that is not taught to most people in school. It's considered a more advanced concept in machine learning. It doesn't have to be scary. And what Amazon SageMaker Canvas does is simplify the whole process so that anyone can have access to it and start to do these scenarios and build out useful time series predictions to be able to anticipate what's happening in the future. Thanks.